Okay, I was exposing some of the red stones. Now, to go back, um, I had picked up some red stones from Bristol, and like sometimes I would do like a few marks on them to expose what was in there. Like this one, you can see it's like the shape of an animal head, but I think if you turn it up this way, you might kind of get like a human effigy. Just have to kind of use your imagination. I feel like these were once like animal hide that might have been stitched. See, if you could look right around the edge here, it looks like there's stitching. This one, that one I went crazy on. And that's one of my favorites because there really wasn't much to go on except I traced the stitch lines, and I'm going to tilt this. Like there's a stitch line going right up the middle there. If you can kind of see it. It's hard because when these are monochromatic and they're rocks, you just kind of don't think rocks are going to be stitched. So anyway, I didn't really want to talk about this, but it is kind of an amazing piece because it shows the difference between a mammoth and a mastodon. And then when I flipped it over, I found the head of the mammoth here and the mastodon here. And then you turn it this way, and then you have the mammoth here. And I did not paint the mastodon, but you can kind of see that it's right in there. It's really trippy. Okay, anyway. These are new ones that I pulled out. I've actually brought a bunch with me. And they're all kind of the same thing. You know, I wasn't doing like amazing work because I want the rock to show. I want to do as little artwork on them as possible. So we'll start with this one here. And again, it has that suede-like feel, which everyone would say looks like sandstone. But if it was sand, it would just kind of fall apart. And in fact, right there is a seam. So I highlighted that. What it was, I found an eye here. If I can get these. Sometimes you see things like little eyelashes in there. But it turned out to be some kind of animal head, like a bear head or something. But then I was just wondering, you know, I always think there's a little bit more, so I think there's an animal head facing this way. This isn't the best one I've ever seen. Maybe one facing this way. Like I say, it's not a work of art like, you know, Mammoth and Mastodon or even this guy. But I like the challenge of, you know, the mystery. Is it just a rock or is it actually something else? But now that I know that there's something else, so this one I started to trace the lines, and I saw that there's like teeth in there. I see this, like, I always look for the ears. The ears are always very well formed. Yeah, I know, it's like it could be, probably want to say, you know, oh, she's got pareidolia or whatever. But it's still, I would still see things along the edge like stitches. And you know, one of the things I love when I find mammoths, so I turn this and I'm like, well, wait a second, this maybe, like, I didn't do anything on the other side, but there's kind of that feel of a mammoth there. Kind of like his legs down here, a little tail right there. You can see, like I said, I could see the stitching right there. I mean, for something that, for an animal that's been gone for like 10,000 years or longer, more or less, for a piece of artwork that's been in the ground for that long, you know, don't be so critical. This one, I started to find an eye there, a nose there, mouth there, the ear up here. Feels more chipped bone-like. I can't say for certain, but watch. It's like a animal with some baring its teeth. I guess that would be the eye up there. I didn't really explore the other side, but you can see there's evidence of like a mouth there, eye and ear. So maybe like some kind of cat, maybe. What if I turned it up that way? Ear here. Oops. Eye a little bit sparkly. Nose and an open mouth. Could be this little thing, even the little pieces. I didn't do anything on the other side, so that's about how it looked. But if you look very closely, there are little tiny stitches all over this thing. So I found a human face right there. So I just put a little ink right there in the eye. I started with the ink, and I was like, I just kept exposing all these little stitches. And then I see like here, this little black spot down at the bottom. There, like there. It's like stitch marks right there. Like this is something that was like folded over and stitched. And then it's very hard. Like I just noticed like it was like this little person has a headdress, a lot of lines and line work in that headdress, and I tried to use a little bit of like rose gold paint to try to outline those fine little details, those fine little, like, just kind of dot it in there as best as I could. I'm just gonna turn it. I mean, it's like some kind of cameo of some kind. I mean, it went from going from that, and maybe there's a little bit of a face over here on this side. So like that. I had a couple others I was working on. I mean, I just try to do this as something relaxing. It's like solving a mystery. It was kind of neat because, you know, there was so many of these little artifacts in my backyard, and I wonder if there's a mammoth in there. You kind of see like maybe a possible trunk there. Can't, you know, can't assume things. Oh, it's possible. Maybe this is a leg. That would be exciting. I mean, it's like, so like one of my favorite extinct animals. All right. Bye, everyone.